This is going to be a longer video than normal, so I'll warn you up front, because this is going to go through 4 different steps that I do to put this baby into round. First off, we got to get the tenon into round. 2 things are going on here. If the tenon is out of round and the bowl has cupped, so the face here, which lines up against the chuck, is out of round too, so that's not going to work. You have to get that straightened around. That's part number 1. Number 2, we're going to go into cutting the face and how I cut the face flat. The face, which looks like a boat, and why I cut it next. And then I'm going to go to the outside and show you how I cut that, and then cut the inside to a finished bowl. But these 4 steps are very important. This is my 100th one. We're 95 days into 2025. So I do a lot of bowls, but this I wanted to show you because I've learned some tricks that work very well. And it has to do with standing at the headstock to try and get that cut. We'll put it back in the round and we'll cut this into a nice finished bowl. All right, looking forward to it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get this into round with just the tenon and around the outside edge, and I'll show you how I do that. But I wanted to show you also, this is a shelf liner. I use that as a pad in between to give it some kind of friction. And I put this right up against my chuck, and actually we can open that up just a hair more, because it doesn't hurt to have the teeth stick into it. Because if the teeth stick into this wood, it doesn't make any difference because it's going to be turned down. And you want your tailstock to be out far enough so you can get your tools in and comfortably work on it. So I come out about 3 inches, and I'll lock it and then just tighten it up. And that's all there is to getting it on the lathe. All right, the first thing we want to do is we want to get this portion flattened out so I can get a mark on it for my tenon. I'm using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. This is a Thompson bowl gouge. You can speed that up a little bit. I'm running at about 630. And all I want to do is just get a nice clear spot to mark my tenon. This is how I do it. Here's a little piece of scrap plywood that was laying around. I cut it out on the edge right here. I'm going to bring it in so you can see that a little better. This is what I use to mark my tenons. Simple piece of wood. All I do is I cut it out. You can notice on my shaft here that there is a little bit of an edge right there. So I took a little bit off to make it so I can get around that. But this part here lays flat, right flat up against my shaft. I says, and then I can come up, turn her on. That doesn't make much difference what speed. All right. And then I can mark. There's my medium. But that easy, you can mark it, and I'm not cutting anything. I'm not using any sharp pieces on the lathe that I can get my fingers caught up in. I do like a pencil mark better than I do a scratch mark. So now I have it marked, and if I want to check it, I do have gauges. Look at that. We're right on the money. So all I got to do is cut this down, and I'll have my tenon. And then I have to flatten it out. I did hit my pencil mark, but I didn't lose my spot. I'm right where I need to be. That was with a 1/2 inch bowl, Thompson bowl gouge. It's a 5/8 oval skew from Robert Sorby. I've got the 20 mark. That's what I cut my bevel at. And then I bring it up to center. And all I do is when we get to this point right here, is I'm just going to take that edge right there, and I'm going to push in and create my dovetail at the same time. The dovetail's set. Now I want this part to be perpendicular to the lathe so I get a nice flat edge on the bottom. And just like that, we are all set. Now I have a flat shoulder, and I have my dovetail set at exactly where I need it. So now we can turn around. That's part one. Got to get that done. If you don't do that right, the rest of the bowl is going to be off. You'll notice it as you come around to the front because it'll start to wobble. Second step you want to do, we are way out of whack. This is almost 3/4 of an inch. Yep, it's 3/4 of an inch off. So what we're going to do is very lightly, again, using my 1/2 inch bowl gouge, you want to put it in, I'm at about, I'd say 1 o'clock, and just very lightly come up on it. You can tell, oh, still not there yet. Got to go a little bit further. All right, now she's flattened off, and now the rim's done. What I have here is a robust outside vest, which I really have to admit I like it very much. It works very well. I have an inside also. But what we're going to do now, you can see, hopefully on that, you can see where we are and where it is there. She is about a 1/2 inch out of round between the point and the side. So we're going to put that in the round real quick. Now on this one, I like using a 5/8 bowl gouge because you're chunking, and it just makes it easier on my arms and my wrists to be able to cut that first part off, and then you switch over to a 1/2 inch and do a nice clean cut on it. Thompson 5/8 bowl gouge. What I want to show you next is how I cut this, because this is something just from doing it. This is my 100th bowl in the last 95 days, but that's how often I cut. But I want to show you this piece as to how I cut it. What it has to do with is the position of this. Now, you can sit here and come in and come straight in and go across, and you're chipping off with the point all the time. It beats you up for one thing and makes a terrible cut. But at the same time, you got a bevel at the very peak. So if you can find your bevel, now that's where mine is. All right. So I've got my blade down touching my leg. I mean, that's down quite low, but because of this, it makes it real easy to cut and safe because you got the bevel is on it. So we're gonna crank it up a little bit. I'm running at 770. So what we're doing is going way low. We're gonna find, that's just anchor, and that's the bevel riding. And then as you pull it up, you'll start to cut. But what's nice about it, it makes it real easy for you to cut all the way across and be able to do it right-handed. And I'll show you how we cut it left-handed in a little bit. Very safe way to do it and very quick way to do it. Now I can show you why I do the front first. Because as you come around the corner here, and all of a sudden when I roll off the edge here, I don't have that chunk, that 3/4 inch, it just chunking. So all I do, well, that's got a little bit further to go to being round. One more pass, this will be the third pass, and I've already got it into round. Can't be any quicker than that. All right, now I'm going to switch over to my 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and I'm going to do a final cut on it. But I'm going to do this left-handed now. Got to practice. That's ready for sandpaper. That quickly, we're already into sandpaper mode. What I want to do is I'm going to take this off just a little bit here. Try and get a little bit more of a bowl shape to it. I don't like the sharp corner. That's me, all right? So what I do at this point, because it's another thing that's easy to do, is I put up on my center point now. I got raised my breast. I'm at center height. And I'm going to use my scraper. I'm going to turn up my speed a little bit. I'm running at about 1,000 RPM. What we're going to do is we're just going to blend all these lines in and check for any high spots. Just round over the edge there, just so it's not sharp. That actually feels very, very good. What I'm doing is I'm feeling for any kind of hump. There's a small hump right there. So we're going to take that out because it makes it easier when you're sanding. When you're turning, speed is your friend. That is ready for sandpaper. The outside of the bowl is ready. We're going to now go to the inside. This is my inside bowl rest. This works quite well also. This is also from Robust. I'm going to show you something here. Got a scratch mark. I learned this from Captain Eddie. What that scratch mark is right there is my center. So if I'm on my rest, I'll bring my rest over to show you. When I bring my rest over and I put that line right there, this is at dead center on the lathe. Makes it easy because now all I got to do is I got a 1/2-inch bowl gouge I'm working in, so I'm going to drop it down just a little bit. And I know where it is without having to go and line up somewhere. Always want to check before you turn her on if you're hitting anywhere. Also found out that when I do this with a 5/8 bowl gouge, again, it's easier until it gets into round and I do my final cut, I go to 1/2 inch. You can tell by the color that we got that mostly into round. A little bit out around there and a little bit there, which is perfect. So now we're ready to make it into a bowl. I'm only going down about 1.25 inches and then I'm stopping. I'm going to bring the camera way over and let you see something. What I want to show you is how I pass down through. Right here, you can see the outside of the bowl. And as you're looking down it, that's how you find your line. So I'm going to be in the way a little bit because I got to get way over. So I'm trying to figure a way to get that look. All right, so I've got my outside line. Then I'm going to come in and just follow it. So you're going to come in and follow through with your, and you can do this. It's not that difficult. Just watch what you're going and you can see how the curve is going to come. I got to get this out because otherwise you're just going to look at the back of my head. A little deeper. And I'm going to go to a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. I like thin bowls, just me. So I'm looking down the side of the bowl and I'm coming in. You got to get yourself lined up. Now keep it from skating across the top, which if you do, you just fix the top. You just make it shorter, that's all. But if you can do it without doing that, it makes it so you got a nicer look on your bowl. You just take your time, bring your gouge way out, get a good firm grasp, And then I pick up my point, and now I'm going to follow the thickness line the same all the way down, and I'm following on the outside at the same time. And come right around, and the first inch is done. Now I want to take this edge off, though. I don't like it sharp like that. But that is ready for sandpaper right up to the first inch. Bring it up to center. You get a little bit of vibration out of it. Here's another trick for you. This is a paper towel. Take your hand on the back side of your paper towel, and you can do a shear cut and get rid of all that noise. And it gives you a really nice finish and allows you to cut down on your sanding, which I think is everybody's goal. I'll lower it down a little bit. We're going to find out just how deep we are. Oh, looks like we got a good inch yet. Got 1.5 inches plus 2 3/8. I got 7/8 of an inch left on the bottom here yet. So I got plenty of room to go into it. I like to take the center down. I mean, everybody does things different. I'm all set on the outside, so. It is 81 degrees in my shop right now. It is warm. And it's only 8:30. What do we got? 1 7/8. 2 1/4. 2 3/8. So I got a 1/2 inch left on the bottom yet. I'm going to clear this out just a little bit, and then we're going to go to a scraper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to catch this with my gouge. I'm going to leave it thick, though, because I'm going to finish everything up with the scraper. But I'm just going to follow that line right down through and get myself my curve. I get to see another one of my favorite tools. All right, I got a nice fresh burr on here. I want to bring it up just a little bit, and only a little bit, because this is 3/8 of an inch thick. So by the time I get done, I have to raise up about 5 degrees to hit the center. So my burr is cutting right there. But what I want to do is I want to blend this edge right here. Nice cut. I just like this tool. It's got a lot of weight to it. This is 1.5 inch Sorby round nose scraper. I bought it at an auction. Now I'm going up on edge, and I'm going to do a shear cut to try and blend that. So I don't want to sand. A little bit more going, and the line is pretty much gone. Let's find out what we got for thickness now. We got 2 1/16. 2 5/16. So I got a 1/4 inch on the bottom yet. That's enough for me to put in a concave on the bottom so it'll sit clean on the table after it starts to warp or anything. But I got a hump right there. Just a light. Let's see if that took care of that. There it is. Nice feel. Got a little hump right there. Got my paper towel again. Now, I used to do that barehanded. I was watching a YouTube video and the guy used a paper towel. I go, oh my, that's so stupid. I can't believe I didn't do that. She is ready for sandpaper. Nice, even all the way through. Sanding. What I'm going to do is just show you my equipment. This is my sanding equipment. This is a Makita right angle drill. Bought this at a garage sale for 25 bucks. And I've used this for the last 5 years, and it is, I mean, it's a workhorse. But anyways, what I've got on here, I bought a kit. It's called a Ultimate Package from Wood Turning Wonders. And this is a 2-inch mandrel on here. I have a 3-inch also. But I'll tell you, I don't ever put the 3-inch on. I don't need it. I just put my 3-inches on, my 3-inch sanding heads on the 2-inch. There's a 2-inch, fits on just perfectly, and the 3-inch fits the same. That way you're not constantly switching these in and out. What a pain in the butt that would be. So, because I do a lot of switching, because if you're in a tight corner like here, you need your 1.5 inches. Or your 2-inch, sorry. All right, I'm gonna sand, but I'm not gonna put you through that. Before I take the nib down any further, I'll get my cut made across so I don't have to worry about support. Perfectly flat. I need a concave, so I gotta go in a little deeper. I'm good all the way to here. This is a little high. We're ready for sanding. Process to take this off the lathe. Turn it off first. Then turn off your vacuum pump. Very nice. I got probably 1/8 inch on the bottom. Nice popcorn bowl. Put a finish on it, sign it, and put a finish on this. So I'm going to use tongue oil. 2 coats of tongue oil, and then I buff it on the Beals buffing system. This is that oak bowl that we were working on. Got it cut down. She's at 1/8 inch thick. Turned out quite nice. I like the little detail there. Live oak, year 2025. It's the 100th bowl, and this is done in tongue oil. 2 coats of tongue oil, and then buffed on my Beals buffing system. Very nice. Happy turnings.